I think for the longest time I was looking for the wrong thing. Like I thought there was something that I didn't get yet. And that was affecting my product research abilities and the way that I analyzed products. It all suffered because I was looking for the right product, right? And it's kind of like when you look for the right workout routine or the right blender bottle or the right shorts or tights or like that's not the right thing to be looking for. The right thing to be looking for is to just be going a lot or to be working on product research or finding the product a lot. So as soon as I started flipping what I was supposed to be doing on its head, my new goal became like find 100 customers I wouldn't want to sell to. If you're in this process right now, you'll relate to this. I only had to find about 25 in this new way of thinking before I found the one I actually wanted to sell. And of the 25 that I found, most of them sucked, but I put them down anyway. And so really they were just like prerequisites to finding what I was actually looking for. But it got me out of the way of thinking of like, I have to make forward progress in terms of finding the right thing today. And to drill even further on this point, I just looked at other things that were successful for other brands. And I was like, what are things that are similar to that? So I went as small on the originality scale as possible. There wasn't like some magic list of criteria or magic thing that I did to find my product. Been doing some optimizing recently. So you'll see previously normal days were like 1200, 1400, somewhere in that range. I've been doing some really aggressive ad optimizing, and I've actually been able to increase my profit substantially, which is really cool. So we've been making several $100s a day. Let me get this in focus. In profit. Previously, if we did like a $13, $14, $1,500 sales day, it'd be like 20% margins, 19% margins. I've jumped up to like 30% margin days recently. My average for the last 7 days is 30% margin. I've had days mixed in there that were like 34% margin. So I'm really happy with that improvement. Anyway, back on track. That's one product, by the way. We're in the middle of launching our next product. That was the result of looking at customers and markets that I potentially would want to sell in. And then looking at examples, I read this book called Choose by Ryan Levesque. And he was talking about 4 key markets that you can use as comparisons for size references. Like, this is how big a market should be if you're going to enter it and start a $1 million brand there. One of them was beekeeping. One of them was orchid care, leadership skills, and improved memory. So they're pretty different, right? Like leadership skills might be a digital product, might be a learning product. Beekeeping, physical products, orchid care, maybe guides / physical products. And then improved memory might be supplements, or it might be some type of learning environment. So there's different models of businesses that could be built there. I'm more taking it away for Amazon FBA lessons. So I was like, oh, beekeeping is really interesting. What are if that's a decent market to build $1 million brand in, and I can confirm that when I go and look at Amazon with Helium 10 or a search tool, I can see there's a lot of revenue here. And then I go, what's a market that's similar to that? And or what would I do here? So I just started using real examples of products and market types that I was told from mentors and from books that were good examples to use. What are similar to that? Like there must be something there. So I just modeled like 10 out off of each one of those 4 products / marketplaces that I told you about. And ultimately that pathway, though unorthodox, is what led me to find my product. So I recently ran a poll and like 51% of you struggle with, you said the hardest part of getting this business going is finding the right product to sell. Now I hear that and I go, that's probably more of a problem of decision making. Like, because we can all agree there's millions of product ideas. So it's not actually finding the product idea. That key word in there is the right one. And in saying that I have a problem finding the right product idea, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot, because we don't want to find the right product idea. I know you're probably thinking like, What do you mean we don't? Of course we want to find the right one. You found the right one. That's why you're making money and your business is growing. No, wrong. Because if you found my product idea, you'd have wildly different results. There's something that happens after we find the product idea. The product idea can actually be pretty loose. Like, there's not great structure you have to follow there. So everyone thinks of like the product is the most important thing. There's these like tight, locked criteria and grips around a marketplace that makes it really solid as an idea to pursue. And I would say that's more like a river. Like, there's constantly products moving in and out of your life, moving by you, that at any moment you can look at one of them and run them through the next thing, which is the process, the strategies, the ways you operate the business to actually turn it into a multi-million-dollar idea or business or what have you. So I know this is a bit of a rant here. This is kind of how my YouTube videos have been lately, but in working on my brand and working with my students, this is what I have time to do. So I hope you appreciate these talks. The way that I like to, let me just say this, not even like to, the way I broke out of it, I'll just tell you what I did, is I made a list of 100, I call them seeds. And these were any idea counts, and one of the only rules is no judgment. Like, I cannot judge the product ideas. I cannot, expect any of them to be good. There's no good or bad. There's no right or wrong. It's just, these are marketplaces with customers that currently buy them. And so my only piece of criteria was actually that there are currently sellers making 5 to 6 figures per month in these marketplaces. If that is true, I don't care about anything else. And that gave me immense freedom, and it gave me a bunch of small wins, because every time, my brain adds something to the list, I feel like I did something, because I did. And I actually am closer to my goal, finding the right thing. But that's the outcome, right? The right product's the outcome. It's not the activity. Finding the right product is not an activity. It's the outcome. So we need to instead shift our focus away from these. I did talk about this recently. Outcome-based goals, will you have it? And I'll shift my focus to make a list of, like, if I put it this way, if you haven't found 100 product ideas that wouldn't work yet, you haven't started yet. Oh, if you didn't get 100 product ideas that are bad, you didn't do enough. So if instead 100 bad product ideas is the goal, it's actually reachable. And in getting to 100 bad product ideas, you'll get better at looking at products and looking at markets. Now, I understand if you have no idea how to pick a product, then you're going to have a hard time identifying an opportunity. So you actually would have a problem there. And then you have a knowledge gap. So you just need to go learn more about how to find the right product, which is why I made, by the way, a pay what you want course. Pay what you want, anything over $1. Okay, this is not me getting rich here. This is everything I've learned in the last 6 years of selling, from a teenager all the way up now in my mid-20s, where I do this full time. So many failures there, so many wins. But ultimately, the biggest win was this past year in this Made in the USA thing. So I wanted to unlock everything I learned in that time frame and just head start you to 6 years in the future, so you don't have to fail a bunch of times and ultimately cancel out all of your products and just shift your focus on one main thing. Just have you shift focus on one main thing from the very beginning. So there'll be a link in the description to apply to that. Like I said, anything over $1, anything you can afford. Even if you can't afford it right now, you can get the knowledge and then figure out on your own time how to make money so that you can invest in your first private label product. Which, by the way, I see this channel as more of a diary entry to myself. So don't take anything I say as advice. It's just like, if it rings true to you, obviously make decisions based on your own intuition. But hopefully, I know there's some people like me out there that'll benefit from this, and you're who I'm talking to. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you soon in another video. Please subscribe down below so you don't miss it. Later.